So a few hours ago, and by the time I'm like up making this video and uploading this video, it's probably like been well over 12 hours ago, but there was a video that was uploaded by a creator named Thorin. This video specifically, called Rekkles is a narcissistic diva and a terrible teammate, narrative mechanic League of Legends. This video was meant to be exposing one of the most glorified players that has ever come out of the EU in League of Legends in the name of Rekkles. If you don't know who Rekkles is, like I said, this man has been around for a very long time within the League of Legends state. I mean, his playing time goes back all the way until 2012. Like, that's how long this guy has been around for. And he is still playing to this day, to which he has switched his role from playing ADC to support, and he's now playing with Los Ratones. And like I said, he's one of the most glorified players that has come out of the EU, without a doubt. I mean, he is like, I think when it came to him taking, I think it was Fnatic to the World's Finals, I'm pretty sure that that was the only or one of the only times that a European team has ever made it to the World's Finals. I don't know if it's the only team, but I know that like, or if it's like one of the only. And that is really hard because League of Legends, if you know anything about the pro scene, and me, I do love the pro scene of League, like very, very much. And I will say this as well, is that I'm a massive fan of Los Ratones, especially because of the Baus. I was a massive fan of the Baus before the team was formed. And I also am a massive fan of T1. So I knew a little bit about Rekkles. Like, I didn't know him too much before T1, like the T1 days, because I only really got into League like a couple years ago. And that was kind of like past his prime of when he was like, you know, at his best during the Fnatic days. I only really know him as when he was a substitute at T1. And then I found out more about him, about how he used to play ADC at Fnatic and also a bit at G2 as well. But this video that Thorin put out is supposedly a video of exposing Rekkles for being a complete diva over the years. And I just want to say that I watched this entire video. This video goes for 1 hour and 47 minutes. This is an extremely long video. And during this video, this man talks about how he has multiple sources that have told him about a lot of situations when it's come to Rekkles. But at no point does he ever show any sources or evidence to back anything up besides one time, which I will get into in a little bit. And I highly recommend you watching the video itself. I will link it down below so that you can go ahead and watch it. I know it's an hour and 47 minutes. I'm going to talk about and kind of summarize certain things that he did bring up in his video, talk about how I think that those points that he brought up is complete bullshit, because I think that this video, like releasing it, and the stuff that he talks about, to me, is either a very much a nothing burger or completely stupid, especially with the fact that he has no evidence. But I definitely recommend you go watch it if you want a lot more context of it. So in this video, he talks about many things about how Rekkles is supposedly this diva, right? And that multiple times people have kept silent. The reason why people have kept silent for many years now is supposedly because Rekkles was such this big name player and he was such a pull when it came to advertisers and had many fans within the EU that people didn't want to speak out against Rekkles because they were afraid that they'd get some kind of backlash for it. And the reason why that Thorin felt like he had to make this video now was because when Rekkles put out a tweet calling out Fnatic and G2 for dropping him all those years ago, for when he, I don't know if it was after that T1 won Worlds or when they made the Worlds final. But in this video, he talks about how apparently during his times, and some of these stories, I just want to say as well, go back all the way to like 2013 when Rekkles was like 15 years of age. That's right. This man starts talking shit and talking about how Rekkles was a bad person and he wasn't a great social person, and he was like, you know, he'd int some games and he'd troll games, or he wasn't that great of a teammate at times. When he was like 16 years, you're talking about situations of when the kid was 16 years of age, and even sometimes in his early 20s. If you think about when you were a teenager and in your early 20s, you're a completely different person for them. So to me, when it comes to everything of when he's talking about Rekkles being in his teenage years, and even sometimes in your early 20s as well, I completely just brush some of that off, because I think that is complete bullshit to bring up some of these points going back all the way to fucking 2013. But apparently Rekkles had bad social skills, very selfish. Apparently one time during season 8, which I think was in 2015, he locked himself away. Once again, he was 18 as well. Just remember this, Rekkles was 18. When you're 18, you're not really that great socially and you're going to lock yourself away. And I will get into the reasons of why he's not that great socially in a minute, which don't worry, I have evidence for that as well. Apparently Rekkles was very bad in confrontation. He was an asshole in scrims, would backstab a lot of his teammates as well, talk shit behind their back, wanted things his way, and was terrible at comming and didn't want any confrontation. Like, he didn't want any confrontation between him and his teammates. And I just want to say that it's really funny when he talks about being terrible at comming and no confrontation as well. Because if you've watched Los Ratones scrims in recent times, and I'm using these scrims, one, because they are actual evidence, and two, because these are very recent things. If you look at those scrims, Rekkles is one of the people that is the main shot callers on that team. He is comming so much during these scrims. And one time after they had a supposed bad day at scrims, even though I think they went 4-1, and he was like criticizing his teammates and he was trying to, not in a bad way. I think it's great to have like, outings with your teammate in a great constructive way to say, hey, I think you played bad in this situation. He felt like he went too hard on his teammates.
I think I fucked up. Again, maybe. I was really harsh on the guys again. I think I probably made Velia feel a little bit bad here in the last game, and then Crown in one game I kind of called him out. Rough day for me. I think I went way too hard on the guys. It doesn't help. I should be more calm and collected. But I failed today, sadly. But at least we're talking. It's better than not talking. And let things be as they are, and let Cairwell be the bad cop. I think it's actually really important I don't become the bad cop towards anyone in the team. And I keep as much of the good cop as possible and let Cairwell be the bad guy. Like, if anything, I probably should write what I'm thinking to Cairwell and then let Cairwell say it. Because if the players don't like Cairwell, it's whatever. But if the players don't like each other, the game is hard to play. So I need to be careful not to overstep any boundaries and not call out too many people and not say too many bad things. So people, feel bad. It was basically after every game I said something, wasn't it? For example, when Cairwell asked everyone, that would have been a good moment to say things for the first time and for the last time in this day, instead of it being every game. But somehow we're winning. Like, I cannot believe we won 4 games today. It's actually crazy.
And obviously when it comes to Rekkles being bad socially as well, talking about how he had bad social skills, he was selfish, he locked himself away, he wanted things his way, done things his way. Apparently he only stuck to certain champs as well. And apparently he would only play champs, but he really wanted to like practice them first, which to me, that point is really stupid. Like the fact that you would get mad and complain and make it a point that like, oh, Rekkles only wanted to play some champs that he would practice on. I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay, he wants to practice champs first before he plays them. I don't see anything wrong with that. But when it comes to this whole entire social situation about how Rekkles was bad socially, well, Rekkles actually, after the whole entire, especially during his time with Carmen Corp, he acknowledged that his time during that and then his later years in Fnatic and even like his years before Fnatic and during G2 as well, is that he knows about why like his social skills weren't that great, because he came out almost a couple years ago, and I think it was like about a year and a half ago now, in an interview with a sit down with Cadril, who is now his coach, and he talked about how he got diagnosed with autism and started to learn about his diagnosis and how he acted in the past, and he even briefly touches on his time with Carmen Corp at the start.
So we talked a little bit before about my down in K Corp.
Yeah.
So when I had this therapy in 2022, I was just keeping myself afloat, but my therapist told me at some point that I should go and make a neuropsychological evaluation.
Okay.
I know the Swedish word, I don't know the exact English word, but basically the therapist told me that there might be underlying issues that I need to figure out.
Yeah.
So 2023 starts, I don't have time to make this evaluation, but I get the bench from Fnatic and I go back to Sweden. I'm thinking this is a perfect time to do this. So I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I make the whole thing. And in September, I get my diagnosis.
What did you say? So you did some tests?
Yeah, some tests. And I talked to her about my childhood and how I was when I was younger and how things are going now.
Yeah.
And I meet a doctor and he talks to me. And in September, I get my diagnosis. I have high functioning autism, or I'm on the autism spectrum.
Yeah.
Before you would call it Asperger's, but you do not call it this anymore because he has some bad history. So you do not use that word anymore. You call it just being on the autism spectrum. And my first instinct was, oh my God, my life is over. Because it sounds so negative. when you get told
You
from
get
your
diagnosed,
therapist
like,
that you need
hey.
to do this, and then you get the diagnosis. I'm thinking like my life is over. But actually, after getting the diagnosis, my life has just been better. Straight up, just better.
Things make sense more.
Yeah, because now I understand why some things in the past did not work the way I wanted them to.
And they go on, like, this video, there's a clip of it on YouTube as well that you can find. It goes for like 12 minutes of Rekkles going into this. And I'm not here to say that it's a complete excuse. No, because I think that when you use like mental issues as a complete excuse, to me, I find that as bullcrap. I find who people say like, oh, I'm just an asshole because I'm fucking autistic. Like, yeah, I find that bullshit. But I mean, if you don't know the way that you're going about things and you don't know that you have that diagnosis in your head, then you don't know how to deal with those situations in a certain way. Like, you can tell that he's like, I know now why I was acting this way. I know now why I was bad social. Like, he doesn't go into it too much, but you can tell that the way he's wording things and the way he's speaking about things, he's like, I know why I didn't like the way things were going when I was with G2 and when I left Fnatic and was in Karma Corp. I liked things my way, and I found it very hard that when things weren't kept the same, that, you know, it drove him crazy, because that's how autism is. I have people in my life. I've had people who have had autism, and as it used to be called as well, Asperger's. I had someone that I knew growing up who had Asperger's, and yeah, like, I know how these people act, and sometimes it's not their fault, just the way that they are. Sometimes they can't control it, but now that he's got this diagnosis, now he knows how to control it. I mean, I haven't heard any bad things come out about him recently, and one thing that's really funny is that Thorin drops about how apparently a lot of people don't want to play or work with Rekkles, and he even mentions Nemesis's name. He says about how Nemesis hates Rekkles, but how he hates him. Rekkles is his current teammate within Los Ratones. He's the mid laner for Los Ratones. And apparently as well as that, Nemesis is one of the people within that group, within that team, that wanted Rekkles on the team. So Rekkles doesn't like him, hates him, but wanted him on Los Ratones? I find this video to be completely fucking stupid. This man goes on for an hour and 40 minutes. The only evidence that he shows within these videos is literally just scorecards saying that, oh, this happened during this game. Oh, he did this. He died like 5 times during this game because, you know, he was trolling during this game. He was inting because apparently, you know, they had a falling out with some people in this game. It's just like, you're not showing any evidence. The only evidence that you show in this game was from an article where one of the people from Karma Corp came out and spoke badly about Rekkles. But Rekkles even mentions it when he was talking to Cadril about how, yeah, his Karma Corp time wasn't great. Even Rekkles knows about it. Even Rekkles knows the way he acted. And you know what I find completely stupid about this whole entire situation? This is one pet peeve that I have with the internet, is that people don't allow others to change. Like, you can definitely tell, like, that Rekkles is probably a completely different person to what he was all those years ago, to even like 3 years ago. Me, myself, even a year ago, 2 years ago, I am a completely different person. I have made many mistakes throughout my life, socially, with friends, with so many different aspects, and it made me grow, it made me change as a person. And that's why I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Oh, so what? He was a bit selfish. He entered in a game. Oh, he entered in a scrim. Okay. Do you know how many people do that in scrims all the time? I bet there's hundreds and hundreds of stories of so many League of Legends players doing similar shit to this, and no one ever fucking speaks about it. And this guy right here, Thorin, the reason why he's speaking about it is because he is Rekkles' #1 fucking hater. This dude is 41 years of age, and he has been hating on Rekkles for over 10 fucking years now. And there is even evidence of this man talking about how much he hates Rekkles and how long he's been hating this man for.
It's well known that I dislike Rekkles, mainly because his style of play is fraudulent for a superstar from the AD carry position, a point I made all the way back in 2014. It staged fantastically. He's a KDA player when at times you have to go for it to win the game. And then thirdly, because he was fraudulent in that regard, he was carried by his solo laners to the majority of his titles.
This is the only reason why this guy made this video. If he didn't care too much about Rekkles and he was a bit of a fan about Rekkles and he heard some of these things, he wouldn't even care. care. It's because he doesn't like the way Rekkles plays. That's the only reason why this man made this fucking video. With no evidence, no sources shown. You can show sources and just blur names out. Show us some text messages. Show us some Discord messages. We want to hear some audio. Show us something. You just talk for an hour and 47 minutes with no fucking evidence whatsoever. And even then, a lot of the things that you say, they're not even that bad. Did Rekkles hit anyone? Did he physically abuse anyone? Did he sexually harass anyone? No, he didn't do any of that. Oh, so what? He was a bit bad socially, didn't like confrontation, was a bit awkward, kept to himself, and had like autistic behavior before he knew of his diagnosis. Like, you're just being a #1 fucking hater and a piece of shit. That's all this Thorin guy is being. There's no way around it. And speaking of being a shitty person, well, apparently Thorin, I've seen on Twitter, this person put this here, saying about how their interaction with you was rude and you made a sexist remark to her years ago. So, I mean, she hasn't shown any evidence, but since you didn't show any evidence, what she says has got to be 100% true. So, hey, Thorin, you just sexually harassed someone and you should be put in jail because what this girl said, you sexually harassed her. That's right. She didn't show any evidence, but she doesn't need it. Just like you didn't show any evidence towards us. But I think that this whole entire situation, even if majority of it is true, is a nothing burger. I don't give a shit. So what? So fucking what? I bet Rekkles is a completely different fucking person now. And if they get a bit toxic in League, it's fucking League, bro. It's okay. And big shit. Grow up. Alright? You're 41 years of age and you're acting like a fucking 12-year-old. But I would definitely like to hear what you guys think about this situation down below. I think this situation is completely stupid and dumb. But that will be it from me. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.